Thank you all. So, as you know, we have had 17 Dayanand Jha Memorial Lectures from eminent personalities in the domain of agriculture economics, starting from 2nd May 2008. Now, we are having 18th Professor Dayanand Jha Memorial Lecture. I am immensely pleased to invite the dignitaries on the dais to lighten the lamp of wisdom and inaugurate this 18th Professor Dayanand Jha Memorial Lecture and also pay homage to Professor Dayanand Jha. So, please. Thank you all for igniting this lamp of wisdom. So, as we all know, NIAP, earlier called NCAP, was seeded and planted by late Dr. C. Maji, the founding director of NIAP, in 1991. This auditorium is also dedicated to his hard work and endless efforts for giving birth to this institution. Later, Professor Dayanand Jha, a great institution builder, nurtured NIAP from its infancy to childhood. And Professor Jha used to value intellectual capital a lot and nurture it through a perfect blend of traditional as well as contemporary ways and means for the development of NIAP. As well as the agricultural economics research fraternity. So he started the tradition of celebrating this NIAP annual day on 2nd May with a guest lecture from a very eminent personality so that value creation can be done to this agriculture research community and equip them well with the recent tools and techniques. So this NIAP fraternity misses him a lot on this day. Hence, we have decided in 2008 to dedicate this annual day lecture on his name, and we call it Professor Dayanand Jha Memorial Lecture. So, continuing the principles and guidance of Professor Jha, our other former directors, Dr. Mrityunjaya, Dr. Joshi, who is here, Dr. Ramesh Chand, Dr. Suresh Pal, guided and governed this institute by overcoming all obstacles and challenges that came across the path of success in this institution. As a result, like after 24 years of journey, in February 2015, this institute was elevated to the status of institute from center, and now like NCAP became NIAP. So, taking inspiration from all these former directors and benefit from their past experience, journey continued further, and as a result, in this current year, NIAP could achieve 19 publications, which include 8 policy papers, agriculture development report, a policy book, and 9 policy briefs for the year 24-25. Later, we'll release them. So at present, the institute is having network projects, which is running across 21 institutions within NARS with nearly 100 collaborators. including agricultural economists as well as domain experts from other institutes across the country, including state agricultural university. The caliber of NIAP scientists has been recognized by other prominent institutes in the country like NITI Aayog, we have CACP, we have ICRI-SAT, IFPRI, ILRI, and other institutes. So this institute is well known in the agriculture research fraternity. Besides this, we also engage in policy capacity building activities of probationers of IES, researchers in NAS, and in fact, farmers also in our neighboring states like UP, Haryana, and Rajasthan under successful implementation of SC/SP scheme of Government of India. These achievements are endless. But to elaborate more on this NIAP journey, I would like to invite our director, Dr. Pratap Singh Bithalji, to present the welcome address and also give his annual day.
Good morning. Respected Professor Ramesh Chand, Dr. M L Jat, Prof Bharat Ramaswami, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Dr. P.K. Joshi, Dr. D.K. Yadav, Dr. Ajit Singh, Dr. Barmanand, our colleague from History Institute's Director of NCIPM. Online, I think Dr. Matyunjay is online, and Dr. Suresh Pal, he was supposed to come from the way because of that heavy traffic, he came back. So they may be joining us on online. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special occasion for all of us. It is just like our own birthday. It's not the birthday of the institution, but we celebrate it like own birthday, our achievements. And on this occasion, behalf of my colleagues and my personal behalf, extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you. This day, as Dr. Rajni said, that reflects our journey, our collective efforts of the entire faculty and staff who have played a pivotal role in shaping the trajectory of this institute over the past 3 decades or so. As Dr. M L Jat was mentioning, that this is the only one institute which I have seen that growing its trajectory. But I would also like to comment upon this one, say that late Professor V.S. Vyas, who chaired our quinquennial review team, one of the he commented that this institute has not only met the expectations of its sponsor, that is Indian Council of Agriculture Research, but also has positioned itself to make it more substantial contribution to policymaker. And that, of course, we have been visualizing those efforts and the fruits now. Now, in recent times, of course, we have solidified our role as key player in national agricultural policy, providing feedback to policymakers. We are partner with the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, particularly in the initiative of doubling farmers' income. We are partner with the NITI Aayog. And of course, apart from many other members or the chairman, we also contributed significantly to the situation assessment survey of the NSSO, which I was the chairman of that group. And apart from that, the demand and supply projections for food commodities for NITI Aayog. So in the recent years, we have made significant contributions. And importantly, as I said, this institute has lent its expertise to various institutions. Of course, Professor Ramesh Chand is here from NITI Aayog. Dr. N.P. Singh, he was earlier with CACP. Dr. Premchand, now he has gone to CACP. Okay, thank you. And one of the notable contributions, of course, was in the previous year was the successful organization of the International Conference of Agricultural Economists, along with the Agriculture Economics Research Association, IFRI, NASH, and IGDR. Now, nonetheless, of course, we keep on both, should not be complacent. It is time to renew our, shared vision, strength, collaborative partnership, and inspire the next generation of scholars who will continue to build upon the legacy of excellence this institute has achieved. Now, this becomes more important, particularly in view of our vision of being a developed nation by 2047. And here comes the role of, agriculture and the young generations. And I presume that most of the younger people here sitting here, they will be assuming the leadership role in the times to come and to see the future of Indian agriculture when India celebrates its 100 years of independence. Now, in this direction, of course, we have made some efforts, as Dr. Rajni said, one or two or three of our recent papers which are directly relevant to the policymakers, which of course we will be releasing today. Anyway, I will not dwell more on this because Rajni has already given some kind of introduction to this institution. But today we have a very eminent agricultural economist, Professor Bharat Ramaswami, with us to provide us further insights into the policy perspectives for the future. And he readily agreed to deliver the Professor Dayana Jha Memorial Lecture. I asked him first, Professor, are you available in the first week of May? Because generally he is not available. He said, yes. No, okay, then block the second of that. And immediately he said, thank you, and we welcome you, Professor Bharat Ramaswami, to accepting our request. Colleagues, we are delighted to welcome our own people, particularly Professor Ramesh Chand, currently the member of NITI Aayog and our former directors. And sir, your presence is always a motivation for the faculty and staff of these institutions, and he never denies any of our requests when we ask him whether you come over here week or you come over there to see him, sir. Sir, the entire staff and the faculty of the institutes gives a very warm welcome to you. Well, friends, it's my privilege to extend a very cordial welcome to Dr. M L Jat, the newly appointed Secretary there and DG ICAR, and for his gracious presence on this occasion. Again, I called him to congratulate before he joined. So I mentioned that block the 2nd of May for you, and he did it. Because generally these people are very busy, so it's really very difficult for them also to. Now, well, friends, one of the qualities, of course, you will be listening in his speech that Dr. Jat has a lot of appreciation for the social sciences and lot of expectations from us. So we should be ready. We should be ready for that. And I am confident that this institute, with your support and with support of the council, sir, we will come to your expectations and extend a very hearty welcome to you. Well, friends, we have another dignitaries. Again, when I approached him, he just saw his calendar and said, yes, I will come. And he is none other than Dr. Sanjay Kumar, chairman of the Agriculture Scientist Recruitment Board. Sir, we are very thankful for gracing this occasion. And in fact, Dr. Kumar's participation, it not only honors us, but also provides a unique opportunity to all of us to benefit from his vast experience and insights in the field of agriculture sciences that will shape the future of Indian agriculture. Sir, again, I welcome you to this institute, and I think this is your maiden visit to this institute. So welcome, sir, for accepting. Well, friends, we were supposed to have with us our DDG, Dr. R.C. Agarwal, but because of some health problems, he could not. So in absentia, of course, I extend a very hearty welcome to him also. We have with us our Deputy Director General, Dr. D.K. Yadav. And again, such an humble person, when I called him, he said, yes, Daksha, I will come. But don't ask me to sit on the stage. But I said, I don't have people, they don't have many chairs to accommodate there at the stage, so you will be in front of us. So welcome you, sir, again. Dr. Ajit Yadav, of course, he is a pillar to this institute for administrative purposes. It's attached to ADG, Dr. Ajit Yadav. And he is, always supportive to this institute for all kind of techniques. Sir, we extend a very hearty welcome to you. Well, friends, we have our former directors. One, of course, with us here, Dr. P.K. Joshi, and Dr. Matyunjay and Dr. Suresh Pal. I hope they are online. So they provided, directions to the trajectory of growth these institutions in all. And they held, value which that Dr. Jha established for this institute. So, sir, very hearty welcome to you, all three of you on behalf of the faculty and the staff of this institute. I extend a very hearty welcome to our other colleagues, directors of the sister institute. Of course, Dr. Rajendra Prasad is again trapped in the heavy traffic. He could not make it. We have with us our colleague, director, Dr. Tangivelu, director and CIPM with us. We have with us Dr. Smita Shirohi, and we have with us our own colleague, Dr. Raka Saxena, who is now at senior advisor at NITI Aayog. We have Dr. Anil Dixit, Dr. Prem Chand, again our own colleague. We have Dr. Lakshmi Joshi. She was here with us, now is with NCIR. So welcome to all of you. And we have colleagues from the CGIR centers. Dr. Vinas is there, if anybody else is there. So very hearty welcome to all of you to this occasion. And once again, on behalf of the entire NIAP family, I express my sincere gratitude to the dignitaries and all our beloved guests to be a part of this happiness of ours on this occasion. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for welcoming the guests. Now, I would like to invite Dr. N.P. Singh for welcoming our chief guest speaker, as well as reading his citation, presenting the citation, and inviting him for the lecture.
Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm here to read a citation from Dr. Bharat Ramaswami, means who will be, giving his a Foundation Day lecture today. Well, it's a privilege and I'm profound honor to welcome Professor Bharat Ramaswami as the distinguished guest, means on the 34th Foundation Day, means of ICAR-NIAP. A luminary in the field of agriculture and development economics. Professor Ramaswamy currently serves as a professor of economics at Ashoka University. Prior to this, he held a long and illustrious career at the ISI Delhi and has enriched and academic as well as a policy circle through the various visiting appointments at globally reputed institutions like University of Pennsylvania, IFPRI, and the Center for Development Research, Bonn, Germany. He earned his master's degree from Delhi School of Economics, and the doctorate in economics from University of Minnesota, which have laid the foundation experiences and that set the stage for an exceptional career spanning over 3 decades. During this time, Professor Ramaswamy has emerged as one of India's most authoritative as well as influential voices in the domains of agriculture, food system, and rural development. His body of work, marked by scholarly rigor, deep empirical insight, has reshaped contemporary understanding of agricultural markets, public policy, and the challenges of various structural transformations taking place in agriculture. From the intricacies of MSP mechanisms and the political economy of procurement to the design of crop insurance and input of subsidies. His research has not only guided academic debates, but also provided a solid empirical foundation for informed policy and decisions. Professor Ramaswamy has played an instrumental role in several high-level committees convened by the Government of India, including Committee on the Long-Term Grain Policy. His counsel continues to be sought by various ministries, think tanks, and multilateral institutions for his unique ability to bridge theory and practice. His publications appear in some of the world's most respected journals in economics as well as agricultural policy, earning him national as well as international repute. Equally, he is held in the highest regard as a teacher, mentor, and a thought leader. Generations of our students, scholars, and the policy professionals have benefited from his clarity of thought, academic generosity, and unwavering commitment to the equity as well as evidence in the public discourse. Professor Professor Ramaswamy also shared a close professional association and a deep mutual regard with the later Professor Jha, whose intellectual legacy we are honoring today. His presence here, therefore, is both a tribute and a continuation of that of legacy. With, with immense pride and anticipation, faculty and staff of ICAR-NIAP, together with our honored guest, welcome Professor Bharat Ramaswamy to deliver 18th Professor Dhyana Jha lecture on a theme of enduring relevance as well as urgency. That is on reflection on a strategic approach to the agriculture policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Naveen, for presenting the citation to the chief guest. May I now invite our chief guest to deliver the lecture to the gathering here. Professor Bharat.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Singh, for this wonderful words. Dr. Ramesh Chand, Dr. Jat, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Dr. Bharat, and distinguished guests. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful to NIAP for inviting me. I met Dr. Jha for the first time many years ago in IFPRI in around 1990. I was then a recently graduated PhD student. I was doing a study on the seed industry, and I went to him for advice. He was there visiting IFPRI, and our scheduled 15-minute interaction extended to 1 hour, and that was an education that I'll never forget. It was memorable, and I was really grateful to have this introduction to this great mind at that time. I also would like to congratulate NIAP for this Foundation Day. I have personally benefited from the work done here, and indeed have some collaboration as well with colleagues here. When Dr. Birthal asked me to speak here, I was really in a quandary. What can I say that it would be that would not be known to people here already? And since a lot of my own analysis springs from the studies that are done here. So I have tried nonetheless. I hope there is something of value to this very informed audience. So in some ways, we are at a crossroads today because while 1991 was the last one, where we went in a certain direction of global our integration with global markets and the global economy in both, especially in terms of outsourcing and we are just beginning to gather strength in the area of global value chains. But it looks like today we cannot assume that going forward it will be business as usual. That's not the scenario that we can imagine given the world conditions today. So question is, how should we respond? And I think all the answers are not there. All of us are searching for it. And I'm going to try and give some responses, and you can see whether you find it persuasive. So in many ways, as agriculture policy analysts, we are dealing with a very complicated set of factors. So I have here chosen the two outcomes that I think about all the time. One is about, on the right side, you see farm incomes, and on the left side, you see nutritional security. And all, it's an inverted pyramid because you have two of these goals, but it's all based on our natural resource endowments. So we usually think about productivity and climate shocks or prices. Those are all things that will ultimately feed into farm incomes. And then we have and nutritional security, about dietary intake, diet diversity, inflation, and so on and so forth. So a lot of these things which we occupy us in our daily professional life, they finally feed into one of these two things, and which is and there's the linkages are not unidirectional, because what's happened on the demand side on nutritional security feeds back into the production system, which in turn feeds back into what is the state of our natural resource endowments. So but I think it's sometimes useful to remind that ultimately these two things are what also are the expectations of society from the sector and from our efforts of food or nutrition security and of course to have a sector with where farmers are thriving. But we have to be alive to a bunch of contradictions that we all are grappling every day. So the biggest contradiction is that the sector, agriculture, is a large part of employment, but only a small part of national income. And this is from the situation assessment survey that Pratap was just talking about. If you look at, I've chosen two farm sizes, 1 to 2 hectares and 4 to 10. And if you look at just the monthly income from agriculture, I've inflated those numbers to 22, 23. What's there? So the agricultural income for the 1 to 2 hectares, actually, if you look at the consumption distribution from the consumer expenditure data, it's right at the bottom, 0 to 5 percentile. While the 4 to 10 is about the mean incomes reported by Situation Survey are about 70 to 80 percentile. But if you look at income from all sources, they're including the non-agricultural income, those who are at that 1 to 2 hectare level, they are in the bottom half of the consumption distribution, about 20 to 30 percentile, while the 4 to 10, those farmers, they are about 80 to 90 percentile. Also, the this is a general trend that those who have small plots, those small farm sizes, they depend more on non-agriculture. The proposed contribution of agriculture income to the total income falls as um, as as the farm size falls itself. So this is in some sense, encapsulate the issue of low farm incomes. Now, from the work of Dr. Joshi and his colleagues, these are some graphs there. So these tells you that the first graph tells you that subsidies as a whole are more than twice all of agriculture expenditure. And the second graph tells you how input subsidies, they are about the same scale as public investment. So subsidies are large. But can we expect this as a route to further increase in incomes? Probably not, because in aggregate, subsidies are about 20% of all farm income. So a 50% increase in subsidy, which is a large amount, think about 50% increase over this level we already have, will increase farm incomes by another 10%. So, and it'll be a one-time thing. So it's not a sustainable way in which we can increase incomes, even though they are already large. And this is well known to you that we are the largest exporter of rice, but our groundwater resources are at parity. And globally, we stand out in that respect in terms of our usage of groundwater and the usage of electricity for agriculture. Now, Dr. Ramesh Chand's work, I have borrowed this from there. Something that these graphs show that despite price and input subsidy support, the wheat and rice sectors show lower growth. The dynamism is not coming from there. So as a result of that, the share of horticulture, fisheries, those are the ones in gross value added, those are the ones that are growing. So there's dynamism there. However, so there is, you would say, this is an example of structural transformation happening within agriculture, that the structure of agriculture is changing towards these sectors. And in fact, global experience tells us that sustainable gains to farmers comes only from such structural transformation, where labor, land, and capital moves from income inelastic crops such as cereals to more income elastic activities like fisheries and horticulture and dairy. And we saw that shift happening in agriculture GDP. But yet our farm incomes are low, as we saw in that earlier slide, because that transformation in gross value added in GDP has not been paralleled by similar transformation in land and labor resources. So our transformation remains stunted. So the consequence of that is this is again from the situation system survey, is that farmers who grow grain forego a lot of income because a lot of resources are locked into grain. So here, the cultivators not growing grain, their income is being normalized to 100. So if you look at that with reference to that, you see that cultivators who grow only grain, their incomes are lower by more than 70%. And those who grow some combination are somewhere in between. So on the consumption side, it's well known that there's a trend that in consumer expenditure, the budget share of cereals has fallen in favor of other foods. Yet, if you look at all comparisons of what a healthy diet should be and what we are consuming too much of cereals. So this figure is from the National Institute of Nutrition, where they compare what their health recommended diets are and what people are consuming. But you find the same findings reported in other studies. um, this paper by Sharma et al., or one of the, I think Avinash, you're one of the co-authors. It shows that our diets are deficient with respect to the Eat Lancet diet. There's also been a lot of work about how healthy foods are unaffordable in developing countries in general. And in fact, that a least cost nutritious diet is very expensive relative to unskilled wages. And we also see this rising trend in the consumption of processed foods and palm oil, which is not good news from the point of view of health outcomes. So again, from Dr. Ramesh Chand's work, this is, we are seeing that despite progress in reducing undernourishment, we suffer the triple burden of malnutrition, of undernourishment, overnourishment, obesity, and of course, deficiency in micronutrients. So yes, so given all these contradictions, what have economists been saying? And include myself in it. For the last 20 years or more, economists have been saying similar things. And that's why I call it the economist's anthem. I may even call it the economist's lament, because it's not clear people are listening to us. So we are saying, first, get rid of the distorting subsidies, make it more, move to subsidies that are non-distorting, such as cash transfers and so on. Promote incentives for water and soil soil conservation, which will happen if you repurpose subsidies. And economists have always batted for to increase productivity by investment in agriculture, including, of course, R&D. We keep producing studies which show that our R&D has high payoffs. And it's also, we know that now, that's essential for climate mitigation and adaptation. Without that R&D, it will not, that's going to be critical. We have also been saying that how we must promote diversification into all these income elastic activities such as horticulture, livestock, and fisheries. And then we have other subsidiary recommendations about institutional reforms of land leasing and global value chains. We also used to say a lot about reforming agriculture markets, but there has been that push by in the last few years. So right now, conversation is a little muted on that. But that's also been a big part. So this is common to, I would say, what most economists have been saying, me included. In 2019, I did a paper on subsidies where I echoed some of these things. I in fact, did some work also on the welfare impacts of price supports, but I have published none of it. And partly it is this reason. So I'll come to that. So, but what do the economists' recommendation mean? So, Dejanvi and Saudulais, very well-known development economists, have this typology of the agricultural development global experience, where they say that, you start, initially it starts with asset building, giving, and then we move to the green revolution stage. Then the agriculture transformation happens where we are actually diversifying agriculture. And the rural transformation happens where, the rural economy gets diversified. Finally, ending up with structural transformation in the entire economy. And some way, what we are recommending, what we have been recommending here is actually saying in this typology, what it amounts to saying is that the green revolution stage is over. Let's move on to better policies now for agriculture transformation. That's what we need to be doing so that we can move to the next stage of rural transformation. So that's where we are. Now, I think that some of what we have been saying in terms of our policy mantra, the anthem or whatever, we have had limited success. Maybe that's the nature of policy itself, because there are deeper constraints in terms of politics and so on. And if you notice that direct income subsidies have been introduced both at the central level and at some states, but they have been introduced not in lieu of distorting subsidies, but in addition to it. public investment in agriculture, there is, continues to be where it is. There is nothing, no progress there. And there is no larger consensus on market and fundamental institutional reforms. So, in some ways, I felt that even what I'm doing is falling on deaf ears. And so in some ways, that motivation to publish what I wrote in 2019 for the Finance Commission, to follow it up, wasn't there. Maybe I may still do some parts of it. But I've been thinking about, can anything be there, done that's better? And some months ago, Professor Ramesh Chand gave a talk on reimagining agriculture. So in some ways, what I'm going to say is going to be complementary to that kind of a analysis, but probably not as ambitious as he's envisaging. So one thing is that there are definitely some research problems, some research gaps I feel existing even in our current recommendations. I think that we need to do a much better job as economists on the opportunity cost to transitioning out of cereal agriculture. We need more granular data because we have to see about, we have to look at it as a technology adoption problem. How do you get people to adopt? A new crop is like a new technology. The initial adopters, whether they have to be compensated more, what kind of precise R&D extension support they need. And perhaps we have to also see that what about the younger generation that's coming into farming? Would they prefer a different kind of messaging, and what kind of support they would have compared to the older generation, which were kind of stuck in their ways? But beyond that, I feel really that I think we have to also think about, again, a constancy for agriculture research. I think there's a clear divide in the policy priorities of farmers and urban elites. So let me give you an example. Some years ago, we did this, we reviewed the media reports about GM crops in English, in Gujarati, and Marathi newspapers during 2011 to 2013. This was the time when the BT brinjal debate was very topical. Now, what we noticed is that in the Gujarati and Marathi newspapers, including the agriculture newspapers, there wasn't much opinions which are being shared. They were mostly reporting about practical farmer concerns, about whether seeds are available or not, how do you use the technology and so on. The debate, the for and against, happened mostly in English newspapers. That is to say, by people who don't have connections with agriculture on a day-to-day basis. So what was the against argument? The against argument, which won in the case of BT brinjal, principally made arguments about impacts on health, on environment, and on possible seed monopolies and corporate structure. The people who are arguing for GM crops, they were making arguments about farmers will be better off, we will have food security. So basically, the two sides were arguing past each other. There was no commonality. The people who are arguing for GM crops did not engage with the health impacts. Now, for instance, there was no counterfactual which was publicized about whether the BT crops might reduce chemical exposure relative to business as usual. We are talking about here a fruit, an eggplant, and there could be a lot of chemical exposure in business as usual. But where was that? That was not there in the public debate. And health and environment are, to a lesser extent, are the concerns of elites that influence attitudes and policy. I strongly feel that agriculture research must explicitly position itself in terms of health impacts as well. And there have, in the recent ICA meetings, also there was some excellent presentations on this. And there's huge potential for agriculture research to broaden its appeal in terms of health impacts. I think a third I would suggest is that we have to emphasize safety nets, because as you know, agriculture is the prime example of a risky activity and price fluctuations. And the people who suffer the burden of it are the least able to cope with it, small farmers and poor consumers. A responsible government has to respond to this constituency. But can we do it in ways that are non-distorting and effective? And it's important to do that because research has shown that, for instance, in the case of international trade, countries that are highly exposed to international trade also have larger government expenditures offering some kind of insurance against the risks that come from international trade. So, so the most open countries in the world are also those that are spending a lot on insurance. So the same logic holds for an activity like agriculture. Now, crop insurance is one where we know we offer index insurance because we cannot offer individual assessment insurance because that's just not feasible because of moral hazard. Now, the index insurance has a fundamental problem, which is called basis risk, because it refers to the fact that farmer yields are imperfectly correlated with the index. Okay, so there is always some probability that the farmer experiences a loss but does not receive a compensation because the index has not moved so much. And basis risk reduces the value of insurance. And knowing what the magnitude of it, the distribution basis, is very important in understanding how to design policies that are for crop insurance, how to design it so that they're effective. Now, I'll give you an example. For instance, suppose you consider rainfall index insurance company. How much basis risk will be there? So here, this tells you the joint distribution between yields and rainfall for Kharif crops in this period of 1966 to 2011. Now, I don't know if it's visible to you, but essentially the correlation between rainfall index and yields, district yields, is strongest at the supports at the very end when both are large deviations from the normal. That's when the correlation is high. That is to say that when there is actually a large downward deviation in rainfall, then of course, crop yields, the aggregate crop yields will also be low. But for smaller deviations, the correlation may not be that high. So that tells you the nature of basis risks. For small deviations, small or modest deviations in the index, the basis risk will be very high. But for large deviations, the basis risk will be very low. So the idea is, suppose we have insurance which restricted to the lower tail. That is to say, we restricted it to catastrophic insurance. Then the basis risk would be low, and the value of the insurance will be very high. The value of insurance per dollar of premium. Now, so if you think about this, then the policy implication is that we should give a large subsidy on the extreme layer of risk. That's where the subsidy should be concentrated, and that's what will maximize social benefit. Also, we know that if you do it that way, then insurance can also be a substitute for drought relief. Now, there is a very established protocol for drought relief expenditures by the government, but it's not timely most of the time, and there is a long bureaucratic process before the government is satisfied. But a catastrophic insurance program can also be subscribed by local governments, local panchayats, local villages, so that they have the benefits of timely drought relief. And this is also a similar idea has been tried. In fact, it's working very well in Mexico, a program called CADINA, which is an insurance program for severe weather shocks, and people and researchers have found large benefits for farmers and for agricultural investment. And this is some, so one thing here, since Dr. Ramesh Chand is here, I want to also make the point that it's very hard to evaluate the impacts of the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana because there is no data set that tracks farmers. You have to track the same farmer over multiple seasons to know what is the effect of insurance on risk. But we don't have that data set. And if that can be created at when you're spending 20,000 crores, if 50 crores, 100 crores will get you the data set and allow you to target how to redesign that program. Here's an example that we are trying to do. We are trying to look at cyclonic activity, and we are trying to trace the path of it through various villages. And because we have administrative data on insurance from the government, we are trying to see what is the effect of that on insurance payouts, on the demand for insurance, and also on how quickly farmers are able to recover because of insurance. So this is the activity that we are doing, but it would be better if we had the right kind of data. The next thing I would like to talk is about the intersectoral productivity gap, that the non-farm sector is about 4 times more productive than the farm sector. But that hides a nuance, which is that there is no gap actually between agricultural productivity and the informal component of the non-farm sector. So now, however, there is a gap in incomes between the informal sector work and agriculture itself, and that comes from the employment gap. So the hours of work in agriculture are much lower than that in the informal sector because of seasonality. So agriculture workers need supplemental non-farm work, and that's what would make agriculture viable itself. And to address the economic viability of workers in agriculture, you need the non-farm work, and that's the reason why seasonal migration is important. We have not thought systematically about all the policies that can be put in place to incentivize and promote seasonal migration. But there's some work that's been done in Bangladesh about how small subsidies, temporary subsidies, can increase the incomes of seasonal migrants by 30 to 35%, which is a large amount for these people. I return now to the diversification conundrum. I've already said growing grain is less remunerative. Here you see that this is in the situation survey, you see that in Kharif, about 51% of cultivators grow only grain. In Rabi, it's about 43%. And then the remainder, either they grow a combination or they don't grow grain at all. So the thing is that those who grow only grain, as we said, as we found, they are actually foregoing income. So we can say that those who grow mostly non-grain, they are the income maximizers. Those who mostly grow grain are the hedgers. They are foregoing income. So the important thing, which is puzzle, I would say at this point, is that those who are the income maximizers, they are the ones who are more likely to be poorer, more disadvantaged socially in terms of coming from disadvantaged castes. They have smaller land holdings, they have lower education, and they are more reliant on labor market earnings. These are the people who are not growing grain. The question is that if such small growers can diversify, why don't larger farmers do it? Now, this table will be too hard for you to read, but I'll just summarize this. The maximizers, those who, they control only 18% of Kharif area and 11% of Rabi area. But they are substantial and even dominant producers of sugars, spices, fruits, tuber, vegetables, oilseeds, fiber, dyes, and drugs, flowers. So the point is that is an opportunity. So the hypothesis that we are working right now is that this diversification happen primarily because of market access and proximity to urban markets. There's a lot of prior literature which supports that, but we're trying to substantiate that. And so investments in non-cereal agriculture, its associated infrastructure and logistics will have high economic and social returns. And that can spark a virtuous cycle of growth, because by increasing incomes at the lower end, it will expand the market for basic consumption, construction, and industrial goods. And by expanding the supply of nutrient-dense foods, urban standards of living will also rise. And all of this can lead to second-round effects, because our higher volumes will further decrease the cost of supplying these things. Now, returning to my first slide, our domestic market for non-farm goods is very narrow. It's only about 40% of all aggregate consumer expenditure. 60% goes on food and energy. So that's been the reason why external demand to trade, exports, are essential to overcome the narrowness of domestic market. But what if world trade shrinks, a real possibility now? Then the domestic demand constraints becomes a brake on new private capital investments, already happening. It's very sluggish because people see there's no demand, and on the economy itself. So the point is that the consumption pattern of the top 10%, all of us, is biased towards capital-intensive good, high-skilled services and imports. It's the bottom deciles, their consumption patterns that are more they consume more of mass consumption goods. Hence, agriculture growth through non-cereals will be an important mechanism for relieving the demand constraint and initiating a domestic market-led growth process. So finally, there are broader considerations about how other safety nets like education and health also help farmers cope with the risk of in their businesses. But I'll running out of time, I'll skip this and I'll come to the end. So basically, what I mean by strategic approach is that we keep in sight, and this is really a dialogue with my fellow economists, that we keep inside the twin goals of nutrition security and farm incomes, because this may or may not be prioritized in macro economic policies, or at least should be. But so that's why it's important to keep reminding the macro policy audience about how agricultural investments pay off in macro growth, even when subsidy reforms seem stuck at the moment. And we have to, of course, combine this with granular research on transitioning out of cereal agriculture and completing agriculture transformation. I also think that we have a lot of work to do about while agriculture scientists are doing work on improving yield stability and dealing with climate change and so on. But I think we also, as economists, have to work on what kind of policies can enhance sectoral resilience through insurance and seasonal work and so on. Thank you.
Blurred हो गया ना? Thank you very much, sir, for your thought-provoking lecture. Now we shall have a release of publications by the dignitaries on the dais. So I will request the team to please give the publications, policy papers first. So we have 10 books, there 8 policy papers and 1 agriculture development report and 1 book on fisheries policy. So each one of you can help us in release of the publications with both your hands. So all the publications, they are shown on the screen also. So now we would also request the dignitaries to release policy briefs. So we have 9 policy briefs during the year. So again, they can be released by everyone. So the policy briefs are also available on the screen. They will be available online as well as offline. You can access them from the library of NIAP. I also request the team to please give full set of publications to the team, dignitaries on the dais. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, sir, for release of the publications. Now we will have remarks on the annual day lecture. So first of all, we'll have remarks by the former directors. So I will invite Dr. Joshi for his remarks. Yes, former.
Thank you very much. Dr. Ramesh Chand, member NITI Aayog, Dr. M L Jat, secretary there and DG ICR, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, chairman, Agriculture Scientist Recruitment Board, Dr. Bharat Ramaswami, professor of economics, Ashoka University, Dr. Pratap Bithal, distinguished guest from ICR and IRI, friends and dignitaries. At the outset, my heartiest congratulations and greetings to entire NIAP team for celebrating 34th Foundation Day. And so I'm very glad that I am, part of this important celebration. I also congratulate Dr. Bharat Ramaswami for making an excellent Dhyana Jha Memorial Lecture. You will all agree with me that it was very, very impressive, very comprehensive, and very thought-provoking, and a futuristic kind of lecture. And I consider that this is a befitting tribute and pay homage to our late Professor Dhyana Jha. Friends, I also take this opportunity to pay my homage and respect to Dr. Dhyana Jha, who mentored many of us either in NCAP or entire country or entire national agriculture research system. Has already been mentioned by Dr. Rajni and Dr. Pratap, the trajectory of this center, this institute is very, very remarkable. And I'm very happy that and feel proud that in a very short period of time, the contribution of NIAP has been applauded, not only at the national level, but also at the global level. The Institute is providing evidence-based inputs so that the effective policies are being developed. Friends, Foundation Day is more than just a milestone. Every year we celebrate the Foundation Day, but we consider that this celebration is celebration of your own vision which you have set for the institute. It's the celebration of your accomplishment. And it is also the celebration of the dreams which you have set for yourself for years to come. And I consider that the Foundation Day, where the past, the present, and the future is being discussed. You reflect on the past, you celebrate the present, and you envision the future, in which direction the institute should go. And all of you will agree with me that the past of this institute was very, very glorious. And the present is blossoming. And the future seems to be very, very bright. And I compliment all of you. You have a very young, a very enthusiastic, very energetic team under the leadership of Dr. Pratap Bithal. And the flag is very high of NIAP, not only in India, but in abroad. which we have witnessed during recent International Association of Agriculture Economists conference, that how the flag can be taken to a higher esteem. So congratulations, Dr. Pratap, to you especially, and to the entire team, all scientists, technical staff, administrative staff, and the support staff. Dr. Rajni was mentioning that, you have several achievements. You are member of several committees. You are, contributing significantly at the national level, and I'm so happy about it. And when you do, good work, expectations are also go high. We have lots of expectations from you, and I have 2, 3 proposals for you to consider if you can. And I know that you are already doing all those things. Number one is the most important is to, regularly, you have to revisit your research agenda. Things are changing at a very fast rate. Disruptive technologies are emerging. So regularly, you have to revisit your research agenda, and the research agenda should be demand-driven. It should be very, very realistic and also the futuristic. Should not be what we have done in the past, but it should be futuristic, kind of research which we should take up so that the government can develop effective policies. Second, to the scientists, I would like to say that strive on excellence. Always strive on excellence. Excellence is not the privilege of few. It can be accessible to everyone, but you have to try to see that what is the excellence in yourself. Try to see that what is strength you have. Harness your potential in an era where you have huge opportunities. And many of you will be seeing 2047 when India will be a developed country. We may not be there, but you can shape the trajectory. And I think you are so lucky that you will be shaping the trajectory. When to 2047, remember my words. Then when you will look back and see that what contribution you have made in shaping the trajectory of this country. So be involved in this process of growth and development and make India a developed country. And then also be leader in your own field. Don't do small things. Do 1 or 2 good big things so that your name is substituted with that particular idea or with particular theme. The second area which I was like to mention to you, that improve your skill. Regularly I said that technology is changing, new tools are emerging, new methods are coming up, new methodologies are emerging. So everything is changing. So skill improvement is very, very important. Our Honorable Prime Minister is always referring for skill development. And he also emphasized reskilling and also upskilling. So reskilling is there and upskilling is there, that whatever you learn, you share with other people also. And third, you are doing wonderful partnership. You have a very strong partnership all over the country. I think we used to envision this one, that NIAP should have a larger, participation, develop some good network, and you have done this one. So participating with most of the ICAR institutes, state agriculture universities, KVKs, you are all collaborating with them. Also, you are collaborating with, with the advanced research institutions. Try to see that how you can participate with some of the global agriculture universities to improve your own skills. And also a partnership with, a new kind of partners like private sector. You can have development partnership with the private sector, civil society organizations, also many of the trusts or the foundations which are also involved in agriculture and food policy sector. Then aggressive communication strategy. You should have a very strong communication activity. You are doing very excellent work, but world should know about your excellent work. It should be beyond research publications. Whenever you are having one policy paper, I think quickly you should organize a good event so that your work, and invite media also there, so that your work is spread in different directions. Share research outputs in the media and take advantage of, of the social media. These days social media is very, very effective. The Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm learning LinkedIn these days. Dr. Ramesh Chand has learned a lot on this one also. I'm following him. And then the Twitter, X. I think these are the social media. The young economists we have, young scientists we have. So I think take advantage of the social media to project your research out to the outside world. Friends, at the end, I would like to say that you must remember that you are not just analyzing the numbers. Many times agricultural economists feel that they are analyzing the numbers, but you are shaping the future of agriculture. You are not only involved in making the policies, you are crafting the roadmap for the social prosperity of the country. And finally, which I always share with you when I was director here, so I will again refer or quote Swaminathan, Swami Vivekananda. This is, I always used to quote here, and keep this in your table. Take up one idea, make that one idea your life, dream of it, think of it, live on that idea, and just leave other idea alone. This is the way to your success. Don't chase scorecards. Chase excellence. Success will follow you. And this is the way great scientists and great leaders are being produced. So thank you very much. Best of luck to all of you for celebrating this wonderful function and asking me to share my few thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving us advice on this special day. Dr. Suresh Pal, like he has left amid the heavy traffic. So he has just sent the message and has not reached back. So now I will invite Dr. Mrityunjay, who has been here right from the morning, to unmute himself and give a very short message to the NIAP fraternity. So, sir always makes it a point to be available on this occasion to bless us. So, Dr. Mrityunjay, please.
Thanks for giving me an opportunity to speak few words. And you have alerted me that no, you need to be a little more brief. I will do that. I will try to do that. Good morning to all, online and offline. On this great day of NIAP and the future of agricultural economic research and education in this country, I congratulate and greet the director, his staff, and the families of staff, and everyone involved in this journey of excellence. As Dr. Joshi has rightly said, that we are towards a journey of making life excellent, profession excellent, and growth excellent. So I congratulate everyone on this auspicious day. I always want to be a part of this day because it gives us a kind of an opportunity to take stock of what we have done, what is we are doing, and then what it should be done. I think this is a stock taking exercise day for us, and then we would introspect as to where we have excelled and where we have to excel in the future if we have to raise the flag of NIAP as high as a sky. I think it is always good to remember the excellent work done by our founding directors, Dr. Maji and Dr. Jha. I think they are the people who have put a very strong foundation for this NIAP, and nobody can disturb it. I think over the years, I think that is the kind of legacy that we have inherited, and therefore any director who comes, I can see that they are compelled to treat that path of excellence, and we are grateful to those people. And on this occasion, on the day, on this day, I fondly remember or make namaskaram to Mrs. Jha and remember the family of Dr. Jha, because they must have also joined, because normally they used to join this meeting on this day. So my special reverence to Mrs. Jha and the family. Now, now I congratulate Dr. M L Jat for having assumed the charge of Secretary DARE and DG ICR. I think this is a great task that he has got, and he well deserves it. And then I wish him all the best in his endeavor for the time he has to see that ICR's name is always in the front for development and contribute to development. So this is what I find. Many thanks for Dr. Bharat Ramaswami, whom I also interacted in the beginning as he was recollecting his interactions with Dr. Jha. No, I was initially associated with him. I fondly remember his association in professional works and discussions. And his lecture I liked a lot in terms of providing a kind of a different insight, because as he said, the economist's anthem, he has summarized it, but he wants to retell this anthem in a different way, which is his novelty. Now, I always enjoyed the novelty he brings to the table to see that new things are explored, and possibly they would answer the intriguing questions that we have before us to see that the best is out. I think I'm extremely grateful to him. I'm extremely grateful to Dr. Birthal to give me an opportunity to listen to the wisdom of people who have already talked and would be talking to. Dr. Ramesh Chand is there. I would like to listen to his words. And it would be very helpful to me, particularly at the present juncture, because I am also associated in drafting a QRT report, the 5th QRT report. And I was looking for kind of advice and suggestions to see that can we relook in terms of providing some more insights, clues for moving forward to see that the NIAP flag is held high. So I think I am personally benefited from that angle at this moment, and I have noted several points which Dr. Bharat Ramaswamy has said. So thanks a lot, Dr. Bharat Ramaswamy. I fondly remember your association those days, but I have lost touch with you. But it's good that I reconnected with you, online. And then I am thankful to everyone, in NIAP for having given me love, affection, and I am a soldier. I am not a kind of a general in the army. I am a soldier in this endeavor to see that the legacy of Dr. Maji and Dr. Jha continues. And I joined my hands for a while, and then I did whatever is possible with me. Honestly, I did it. And now I feel the subsequent directors have done an excellent work. And I admire the wisdom of Dr. Joshi, who has spelled out very clearly his words, and they're all 100% true that we should inspire. So therefore, I again congratulate, give greetings on this occasion, and particularly I remember the family members of NIAP, whose contribution is no less than the family, the professional staff, administrative, everyone in that, their family have sacrificed, contributed their time also in seeing that their better half would contribute to the excellence of their work. So they are meeting in the evening. My greetings to them in the, for the evening function. I cannot make it, but I am missing that function as well, because it used to be both professional interaction in the morning and family interactions in the evening. Both of them putting together a great day for NCAP staff to celebrate and then think about what should be NIAP in the coming years. So thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity. I am really greeting all of you for the better future. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir, for your remarks and greetings on this occasion. We are really running short of time, but I would like to invite Dr. ADG, our ADG, Dr. Yadav, for his brief remarks on this occasion. ADG.
Most respected Dr. Ramesh Chand, Honorable DG, Honorable Chairman ASRB, Dr. Birthal, Dr. Ramaswamy, all the dignitaries and the scientists of this institute. I, being the nodal officer of this institute from the education side, congratulate all the staff and the director for this auspicious day of a foundation. And because I am associated with this institute for the day-to-day activity and to coordinate what is their policy, what is their budget requirement and other aspect, even the member of the RAC. So, in nutshell, that the institute is doing the work related to the policy brief, policy, what you can say, advocacy, and also some of the aspects which are having the great national importance, especially that they are doing some work that is related to the projections. Projections in the sense that how the country will transform in terms of the requirement of the grains in the 2047 and how the transformation will change and what will be the requirement for cereals, for fruits, for dairy products and the protein requirement. And also that they are having great capacity because the team is dynamic and the dynamic leadership of Dr. Birthal, they are having the other aspect of capacity building and also they are publishing that the dignitaries they have released many publications and they are constantly doing this for the last many years and they have the great impact. And the most important that in the recent years that they have done a important work that to assess the loss of some of the important economic diseases in the livestock sector and that can have an impact at the national level that how the government can think in the preventive measures as compared to the therapeutic measures after the onset of the disease. And it was a great this assessment of the loss and also they are doing some enormous work in terms of the other aspect, whether pasture requirement, whether the water scarcity and what the crop diversification will impact in the crop or in the economy or the country as a whole. And they are also doing some aspect related to the aspect on the assessment of the non-boiled milk so that that can be explored. So in nutshell, these are some of their important aspects and because I on this aspect again congratulate and we are very much eager to hear the honorable dignitaries, their guidance and their views that how this can be shaped in a much better way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for guiding us from the ICR headquarter. Now I would like to invite Dr. Sanjay Kumar, ASRB chairman, for his annual day remarks.
Very good morning to all honorable dignitaries on the dais, Dr. Ramesh Chand ji, honorable member of NITI Aayog, Dr. M L Jat ji, honorable DG ICR and Secretary there, Dr. Bharat Ramaswami ji, whom we just listened on the very important topic on for the Dayanand Jha Memorial Lecture. Dr. Pratap Birthal ji, who is leading this team, Dr. D.K. Yadav, Dr. P.K. Joshi ji, Dr. Brahmanand, Dr. Yadav. Then we have online former directors of this great institute, Dr. Thangevalu just, I think recently took over, right? And all the members of NIAP family. First of all, my heartiest congratulations for this very important day. And when Dr. Birthal came for the invitation, he gave me a bunch of books, you know, all the policy papers. So it was a great homework for me. And I had to, since he gave me, so I had to go through that. And I found it was very valuable. And I thought if I try to summarize the whole thing It will take 2 days at least. He gave me so much material to read about this institute. But I thought, just in 3 lines, if I had to summarize that, I found most of your policy papers, they conveyed 3 messages. They were economically viable, socially inclusive, and the environmentally sustainable. These 3 points emerge from various points that he gave me. And then it also suggested that all the people who are in this hall and also in this institute, I think it also represent a bunch of dedication of passionate researchers, I would say. I could also see some of the curiosity which was raised of your eager staff. And most importantly, what we were just listening from Dr. Joshi ji and Dr. Mrityunjay, I think wisdom of our inspiring leaders, it was existing and which was driving this important institute. And certainly nothing is possible unless you have good support of administration and finance and other support staff. So their commitment is so important. So today we celebrate all this on their foundation day. And it also shows that you all are forward-looking people. This institute is so forward-looking, and I'm sure that ICR must be getting a lot of benefit out of this institute. And not only ICR, I tell you, Dr. Bithal Saab, I was in CSIR, and in 2015, there was a change in trend. They said no institute will get money just like that. First, you have to tell us what are you going to do and what are the deliverables. And you know, first thing we did, we said if you give us 20 crores, we will give you 50 crores, and then only you please fund our project. So that economic term came. And last year I saw that report from NIAP. They said that for each rupee that you invest in research, in agriculture, you get back 13.85 rupees. And I think that was very significant. Sometimes we celebrate landing on the moon. Why don't we celebrate that 1:13 ratio, which is being evolved by this great institution and the whole ICR setup? I think we should celebrate. During COVID, we not only fed 1.4 billion people, but also 800 million free of cost. I think it was great celebration and it was thing to celebrate. Sometimes I feel, sir, from our organization, such important findings do not get that place which is surviving this nation. And not only our nation, I think we were also exporting. And I think this should find its place. And since this institute was related to a lot of things around policies, I'll share some of my experiences, what I had experienced in terms of policy changes which are important. Maybe very simple, my experiences, but I tell you, once we read about we used to think what research we should carry out. And once we are realizing that, we are developing and growing so much grains, horticulture, we all are self-sufficient. We are trying to see the export and import data. And what we realized, some of the things like, for example, hing, we were importing all in this country. Srinagar celebrates tulip festival. All tulip bulbs were getting into this country. We were not growing anything. And I was surprised. Whole cinnamon, place of origin is in Kerala, but all cinnamon we are getting from outside the country, around 45,000 tons. Then I thought, why don't we try to see in such crops on which our country is dependent? So we contacted to get hing seeds into this country. We wrote, I think, more than 5,000 letters, and one person agreed out of 5,000. So it was more than 1 year time that one person agreed. Otherwise it is not possible. So we submitted our application to EXIM, Export Import Committee. And there I realized that we need a policy change. It was listed as a banned item to import hing into this country. We wrote so many times. They said it's not possible. We approached an NBPGR. They said you can get few grams. Now you see, if you have to produce at least 1500 tons of hing and you are getting permission for few grams, how it is possible? So I thought that some policy change, at least for those crops on which India is dependent on outside world, will be very, very important. And that was my first realization that how important our policy division and their role in terms of making this country self-reliable. Once I was listening to Professor Poroda Sahab in this direction, and he was giving us some reference with Dr. Norman Borlaug, that why green revolution succeeded in this country and why not in Africa and other countries. And he very nicely told us that policy support, government support, which India had, I think no other country had. So I feel that this institute can play such an important role in terms of self-sustaining of our country when we talk of self-reliance. I'll share with you the second example. Sir, we all are talking about startup culture in our country, and we take pride that we are very big startup. And when we try to do agriculture startup, our problem was. We give fellowships to our students who come to do PhD. But anybody who wants to do the startup, want to develop some product in our institution, there was no provision that we could have given him any financial support. We talked to the government of Himachal Pradesh at that time. Fortunately, they agreed to support by 25,000 rupees per month, but on a condition that if they don't start the project, then they have to return all the money. So that one policy change, I thought even at national level, if we are thinking of boosting the agriculture startup, that is very essential. And here then second thing started that, once they want to set up their setup, then they wanted money. And then bank said, you have to give us collateral. Now you see, person has one house and he puts on collateral and his product fails tomorrow, he loses what he has. So that was again, so there was a policy change needed. So we talked to SBI, we developed some protocols so that, now they said if any technology is given by your institute and startup is associated with you, up to 1 crore rupees, we will not charge any collateral. So I realize that even at national level, I think some such policy changes are very, very important. And similarly, when I try to interact at KVKs, when I try to went for agri-entrepreneurship, particularly for value addition of, when we went for marketing, when we went for branding, when we went for even storage, I realized policy change was needed when we try to say that tomorrow agriculture has to be agri-entrepreneurship. I realized that their policy change was needed. And one very important sector I realized was on feed. Today if you see the animal and poultry population and human population, I think we are very close to each other. We have so much policies for our food, but how much policy for feed? And there was a project between ICR and CSIR. There were 3 institutions of ICR and 1 institute of CSIR on this Kappa figus and sargassum on the weed. And very good results were there. But when we wanted to put it into the market, again we realized that policy issues came. So I think on feed side, although when we try to see in the literature, you will see there are several agencies which are working on feed, this and that. But in real sense, when we have to translate some of those things, I think these issues were coming up. So I feel some issues are very, very important. Although this institute has done marvelous job, and what we just listened to Dr. Bharat also, in terms of policy things, what we should be thinking, I think extremely well. But institute like this, I think they have always great role to play. That's how you mentioned your birthday. Slightly, I'll differ with you. birth is always associated with death. And this institute is not meant to die. This institute is made to make others alive. So I think it is a great foundation day. And I sincerely believe and I sincerely feel that this institute is heart of our nation, not only of ICR. And I wish all the very best and wish you all the best and enjoy the day, enjoy the year and several years and times to come. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your real life experiences and reflections on agricultural policies. Friends, it is just a coincidence that our DG, Dr. M L Jat, is present on this occasion of our annual day, and this is his first visit to our institute. I welcome you, sir, and I request you to deliver the annual day remarks and share your expectations from this institute. Professor Jat.
Thank you, Rajni ji. This is not my first day. It's 30 years. Professor Ramesh Chand ji, Honorable Member of the NITI Aayog, and one of the strongest pillar of the agriculture policy in the country. Dr. Bharat Ramaswami ji, must congratulate you and thank you for accepting our invitation to deliver this very, very important memorial lecture for Professor Dayanath Jha ji, with whom I had an opportunity to interact when I was a student at IRF. Dr. Sanjay Kumar ji, a member of, a chairman of the ASRB, the director of this lovely institute, Dr. Pirthal ji, one of my mentors, Dr. Joshi ji, our DDG Crop Sciences, Dr. Yadav ji, and I have to take a name of a woman, Madam Shiroi ji, and I think Sanjay Kumar ji, I think we need to make a mechanism where we start from some women. So we have to make more women leaders. All colleagues, friends, I see our CG colleague, Avinash, sitting on the back, our directors, ADGs.
ಹೊಸ
Well,
ಡಿಜಿ
let me thank
ಹೊಸ ಡಿಜಿಗೆ ಬೈದ ನೋಡ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ
and obviously online Professor Matunjay ji, with whom I also had an opportunity to interact. Other than Dr. Maji ji, I had an opportunity to interact with everyone. Education. What is the relationship? So we'll think about that. But I think there are a lot of social scientists sitting here and there. in different institutions working in isolation. We can't afford that. We have to make a community of practice. They can be sitting anywhere. It's a virtual world. There are virtual universities, digital virtual university, in the Reliance, doing all the miracles. We can also do. So I think we need to do a good mapping of all those scientists sitting here and there with their skills, expertise, and then we put them together in a matrix and see what is required, as Dr. Joshi ji mentioned, for a Viksit Bharat, what skills are required, expertise is required, what we have internally, and what we are looking for from somewhere else, Ashoka University or any other else, JNU or DU or anything. So I think that's one exercise we have to do, and we have to bring them together. We have to bring this culture of working together. We are mandated for the nation, not for a particular place or a state or whatever. So I think we do that exercise. The second one is, sir, I started reading our bylaws. I'm still on the first point. And in that one, we say we do research, education, all those aspects on agriculture, on animal sciences, and deploy. We are up to that. But there are two more words in that first bullet, which is development and marketing. I don't know how strong we are on those, how much focus we have on those things. But those two words require strong social science. And that's where the greater role of institute like this comes into the picture. So we have to strengthen that. I think Joshi ji mentioned about the demand. And I think we have to look at the demand side. Demand-driven research, not supply-driven. And in that context, this institute need to guide the full ICR to see the demand side of the research, what is really required. Also the prioritization. We have to do 100 things. We can't afford. We don't have resources. We have to prioritize. So prioritization again is very, very important. Again, I come for a request to you, to this institute, for that purpose. I think we've been doing a lot of good work, and I'm a beneficiary of this interaction here over 30 years. But it's still a strong work on the foresight, targeting, business models. We talk about FEOs everywhere, every KVK. Do we have expertise to make a business plan for the FEOs? How many experts we have? So I think we need to think around that, the new skills, what is required for the country. The markets, of course, we do a lot of work, but then we need to strengthen. The one aspect which we would like to have for this community of practice is a media unit here. The monitoring, evaluation, learning, and impact assessment of the ICR. That needs framework, that needs indicators, that need a tracking mechanism, and people should be feeding into, so that we can go to one place and see who we are, what is our impact. So that's another aspect, and I think we need to strengthen. Professor Ramaswamy ji mentioned business as usual is not an option. We can't afford, we can't survive with that. And business unusual needs some tweaks, which may put some people in an uncomfortable zone, but we should not worry about that as long as we put country on the comfortable zone. That's our priority. Viksit Bharat, भारत और भारत के किसान, यही प्रायोरिटी, उसी डायरेक्शन में काम करने की कोशिश करेंगे. आपने जो ट्रायंगल बताया, farm income, nutrition, and natural resources, how much we understand that? That need strong social science to understand. We have to focus on those kind of research, and I think, again, this institute is super important from that perspective. You mentioned about rice. export and water. And I'm posing a question, is the rice culprit or wheat culprit? You have to think about that. Because if I see the groundwater monitoring data stations in the country, and you see the seasonal water tables, when do you see the lowest? Now. Where is the water going? To wheat. So I think we need to understand sometimes we pose someone easy target. We really need to understand, and that again need a good understanding. You mentioned about the income from the grain and other crops versus income from only grain. And that needs diversification. And diversification needs, it's not only variety and crop and agronomy. There are a whole lot of other things which are important for diversification to happen. Again, social science. I think we have to understand the value of the social science. We have to have strong social science and science evidence-based policy. And in that context, I think we also need to, Joshiji mentioned, think big. I don't know whether they are already there, but let's make scenarios. Cost of action and cost of inaction and cost of wrong action. And we put that in an economic term, and let's go to the policy planners. And then we request them, if you do this, the return over investment, 1:13, I think we have to put that. So this morning, Yadavji and I were in the, what is that, CPCT? The 30 years of protected agriculture work. And when we go demonstration, that many number of farmers, this and that, I said, what is the impact? You go to the ministry, they say we have 19 centers of excellence on protected agriculture. They are not taking name of IRI. You go to any other places, everybody owning. The person goes from here 2 days in Israel, they say, this is Israel technology. I said, come on, this is IRI. But nobody is taking that name because we don't have documentary evidence. That needs social science. There are so many things, but this is a day to celebrate. So I must congratulate again and thank you so much for this opportunity to hear, to learn few new things. And sir, from all the stalwarts sitting here, I request continue guiding us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for highlighting various dimensions of expectations from NIAP in the years to come, and your support you have provided and you will be providing to us. Now, I would like to request our beloved former director as well as member NITI Aayog, Dr. R.C. Agrawal, Dr. Ramesh Chand ji, for his lecture. Sab badal mein hai. हाँ.
I find we have become really very, very serious, as if we are in a congregation sitting in temple or church or gurdwara. I think there is a need to make the environment bit light, because when the environment is light, only then the best absorption happens. So let me begin by, because Rajni just called me by slightly different name. There was some person in Europe and he was going across the road. Another person came from other side. And when the first person looked at him, he said, "Oh, Mr. Paul, you have changed so much. Your hair have become gray. You have become more weighty. Your complexion has become a bit dark." He said, "Gentlemen, I am not Mr. Paul." He said, "Oh, you have changed so much that even your name has changed." So, friends, I feel that very effective and serious speeches have been delivered by all the speakers before me. And my situation has become somewhat like this, that again, another interesting anecdote. Today, don't want to speak on technical things. I'll speak on technical things some other time. So that was that once a woman in, say, Western country, she filed for a divorce suit. When the judge read out her appeal and the case, he was appalled that why she want divorce from such a wonderful person. Then judge asked her, why you want to take divorce? She said, look, my husband is good at everything. He's perfect in glass cleaning. He's perfect in babysitting. He's perfect in cooking. He's so perfect in everything that nothing is left in the house for me. So I want to take divorce so that I can have some role to play. So similar situation is mine, that everybody has done their job in such a perfect way that I feel, as Sujat Sen said in one of his ghazal, "Mere hisse ka kuch bacha hi nahi." Anyway, first of all, I congratulate director, entire staff, former director, and everyone who belongs to NCAP on this 34 years of glorious journey. Um, in terms of any parameter, whether it is in terms of infrastructure, whether it is in terms of scientific strength, and most importantly, in terms of scientific and policy research contribution, I find that this center over time has seen accelerated growth. Uh, and I would say that this could happen because of very valuable contribution of the past directors, starting from Dr. Maji and coming to Dr. Birthal, who has again taken this center to new heights. I will be brief because Dr. Jat is under tremendous pressure getting calls from Minister's office, so I will try to be as brief as possible. But I feel it is very important, as Dr. Murthunja said, to remember contribution of our first two directors who are no more with us. They have left for heavenly awards, and for the genuine reasons. That creation of this center faced so much opposition that it is important to share it and to continue to sharing it so that it becomes a permanent memory. There was opposition. Dr. Bharat Ramaswami from all top economists, and at the request of ICR, Ministry of Finance, constituted a small committee under, at that time, top level economist of the country, whether they should be setting up, giving permission and resources to set up this kind of center. And that top economist of the country gave his reports with giving justification for not setting up this center. There is a Delhi School of Economics, there is a IG and all those kind of things. And he finally said in very big bold letters, no. But there was a person of Dr. Maji's, I would say, courage, strength, oratory skills that he fought for it. He mobilized political support and all those things. And also at that time, some support from minister and DG within the system that, okay, even if Ministry of Finance didn't agree to give any extra money for this center, ICR said we will set up it by mobilizing our own internal resources. So that is very important to know that history. So a lot of energy of Dr. Maji was spent in fighting for it, fighting for space. One dilapidated 3-4 rooms were given in the old IASRI coordinator, which were abundant space like this. So then second director, Dr. Jha, came from International Food Policy Research Institute. He has an international vision. Like I have heard Dr. Jat for the first time, not after becoming DG. Even otherwise, I have heard formally him first time. So, and I found that he's so clear in his vision about NCAP, what it should be doing, what kind of research agenda it should be picking up. So similarly, Dr. Jha, as a person with lot of international experience in IFPRI, you see, bringing that kind of experience has its own value. He just expanded this center from just 2 scientists to 14 scientists. In fact, a real functioning started. If you look at the publication policy paper, there is a list. You will just find that it kicked off only during the time of Dr. Jha. And he mentored us, he groomed us, and he told us many things about which really we were never told. And every person who joined this center at that time, he used to give a one-page letter. In my life, I have never read any communication better than that letter. Uh, if Dr. Joshi, you have a copy of that letter, I will suggest to Dr. Virthal to display that letter prominently in this building somewhere. It will give lot of inspiration to the scientists who are working here and anybody who come here to join and work here. Very inspiring kind of very inspiring kind of letters. We learned so many things from him. Some other time, maybe we will discuss those things. But other name I want to mention is the blessing of Dr. Pradha at that time. So it was a wonderful combination. In fact, it was Dr. Pradha who invited Dr. Jha to come from IPRI and come this place. Many a time we complain about bureaucracy in ICR, particularly young scientists. I tell you, the bureaucracy even at that time was so strong and so obstructive that despite desire of Dr. Pradha, they were not letting him post Dr. Jha here. Out of desperation, Dr. Jha appeared for an interview in the Agroeconomic Research Center of University of Delhi. I was at Institute of Economic Growth. So he was in touch with me when he was called for interaction. And then he made a phone call that tomorrow he is coming to join their Ramesh. So I told him, yes, sir, you come and join. But it was Dr. Pradha who came running in his car and he stopped him on the way. He said, don't go, have faith in me. I will fight it out and I will see to it. So I think young researchers like Shubhendra and others, sometimes you feel frustrated that there is bureaucracy in ICR, they are not letting things happen. So they were there, they did it. So we have to work despite these odds. We can't accept defeat before them, nor we should quit. So this is another thing I feel important that I should share with you. Then Dr. Mrtyunjay, Dr. Joshi, Dr. Suresh Pal, in their own way, they did something new, which added different kind of value, and that's why that this center could excel, and it is still excelling. Otherwise, during 34 years' time, sometimes you see that if the institution doesn't decay, but at least you see some signs developing that it will start decaying. So it was a compliment from Dr. M L Jat when we were sitting before coming to this hall, that he's seeing this center always something good coming, not hearing something which is regressive or which is negative about it. I really want to congratulate Dr. Virthal for strengthening the legacy which he inherited, and I have noted his, again, unique contribution in three areas. First is that he raised level of research at this center. During my time, there was not a single publication in any international journals. Most of my publication were in Economic and Political Weekly. I got hugely rewarded for that. But the kind of thing which you publish in the national media, TV, newspaper, EPW, helped you in policy advocacy, help you in projecting you in the domestic constituency. But if you really want that as an academic institute, you have international recognition, internationally reputed institution who have name in the profession, they recognize you, then you need publication in, say, agriculture, economics, food policy, or those kind of journals. So I am happy that quite a few papers have been published in those high impact international journal during tenure of Dr. Pratap. This is first unique contribution which for which I give credit to Dr. Birthal. Second is in terms of scientific strength, I think now you are at a peak, 24, 24, 25 scientists. This kind of strength was never there in this place. And in a social science institute, having 24 faculty members is, I think, a big number. Even in Institute of Economic Growth, I was its chairman of governing body till month of April. There are only 17, 18 total faculty strength. So if you have this number, I think that give you strength of its own kind, that you can take up a larger agenda, you can work on a much bigger canvas. Then in terms of, again, policy papers, I feel concerned also there that during last 5 years, I find more than 20 such papers. And in 2024 alone, there are 7, and in 25, 3 have come. So I just want to flag that publishing with the too many publishing too many policy papers should not, as Dr. Joshi said, should not be for the scorecard purpose. We should ensure that we do not dilute that brand. Policy papers and policy brief are brand of this place. I do not say that quality has been compromised. I read some, they are really very, very good. But just I feel that when you try to increase quantity, sometimes there is a compromise on quality. So I really congratulate that last 15 months, there are 10 research policy papers, but see to it that this attempt, not race, for policy paper should not in any way adversely affect the brand name which NIAP has earned during the hard work of last 30 years or so. Also, I think on this occasion, we should introspect, you should reflect internally. I would rather like that after having this technical session, in the afternoon doing an internal session and talking openly about how you further develop on your strength, what are the weaknesses, just an open kind of session, brainstorming kind of session, because on this day we should do introspection, celebration, and all those things. And on that line, Dr. Joshi has, I think, made a comprehensive set of suggestions. A couple of those even I have also written, but I would not like to repeat those. I endorse fully what he has said. I would only say that in today's world, quantity is not valued. It is the quality which is valued. If you have quantity, then you really require FCI to procure it. But if you have a quality, there is a market to reward you. There is a market to pay you premium. That applies more to research product, though it applies to everything, but I think it applies more to the research product that we should go for it. Then secondly, there are so many misperceptions about agriculture that we are not comfortable to come to the to reconcile with the reality of changing agriculture. I can debate these points that this attitude of bechara kisan, bechara agriculture, uh, that is there still in some pockets. That's why in this budget we announced aspirational agriculture district program, PM Dhan Dhanya Yojana. But if you look at overall what has happened in last 10 years, Dr. Bharat, the overall growth rate at constant prices is 4%. Real prices of agriculture commodity in last 10 years have increased by nearly 30%. If you add the two, you just find that income of agriculture sector has grown exactly at the same rate as the non-agriculture sector. But some people, they are so, and you have not heard, we have not heard any news of farmer distress, farmer suicide in last 7, 8 years, which was so common before that. But there are some people who are so uncomfortable, they don't cherish to see that farmer is in a happy state. They will go to farmer and say, hey, why you are feeling happy? You should be unhappy. You should be under distress. That is nature of your profession. So I think if there is something different from this center, I expect that using the facts, not without referring to the facts, that using the fact, you just explain how changes are happening and apprise public opinion that rather than judging or assessing agriculture based on opinion, they should look at the facts. They should look at what is happening. Yes, as I said, that there are pockets where we have concern, but largely you feel that agriculture has done exceedingly well in the last 10 years, and that need to be taught, that need to be informed. Many things which I wanted to talk, Dr. Bharat has already shared with us, and he was honest in attributing those to wherever he took matter from. I will not repeat, but one thing for the profession in the presence of Dr. Bharat, I want to share that he also put one of the bullet on I don't know where I read it, on reform in agriculture markets. I feel that economists of this country either shirked their responsibility or showed dishonesty in giving their views on the three farm laws. I can debate it publicly. I wrote one email to Kaushik Basu, which I will sometime share with you, that every economist was talking of reforms, market reform, market reform. Dr. Bharat also talked about market reform, that market reforms are very important. But when government mustered courage and they did it, most of the economists wrote against those. So what is this? So when Kaushik Basu published in Times of India with Nirvikar Singh op-ed, I sent email to him that in your EPW article, when you were chief economic advisor, you wrote these things about reforms. But when government has done these reforms, you are writing against these. So what is this? So I think this irresponsibility, or whatever you call it, of our fellow economists, that they want to see changing face of agriculture, but you know that face of agriculture can be changed only with reform or with some wonderful technology. Without that, it is not possible. But when the government attempted, most of the economists prefer to have a good sleep rather than uh, 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 showing their responsibility that yes, reform should be done. They could say, but the way government has done that is wrong. That they could still say, but in spirit, in larger spirit, showing it. Anyway, that is past. We can't have recover the past, but I think now we should think of, because lot of people are now meeting me, गवर्नमेंट कुछ कर रही है रिफॉर्म के बारे में, गवर्नमेंट कुछ कर रही है रिफॉर्म के बारे में. So let us organize some debate, and Ashoka is now has emerged as a, I would say, very high professional kind of body for these kind of debates. Even today and tomorrow, they are having a big event. I really appreciate that Dr. Bharat left his own event, morning session, and tomorrow also. It is a 2 days big event of his own center where he is employed, but he preferred to come here where these things are discussing. So, Dr. Bharat, if we can think of coming with, because if I say, many people tell me, you are in government, you have to give justification. You are member, you have to give. You can't speak otherwise. So if some academic body is doing where I would love to participate and something emerge from there, that has different kind of message, but I feel that need to be done. All your Dr. Bharat is a very serious researcher. When he says something, there's a lot of thinking behind it. Even when he speaks, there is so much thinking going on his brain that he is so careful in expressing and choosing words. So he is really very serious researcher. But I still feel that one person can't do everything. We need to involve our community and other institute to churn this process, to debate this process, and really come with a recommendation which will create a policy environment where I feel that agriculture can play the historic role it has played in the case of China, and to make India Viksit Bharat. My own calculations are that it requires 5% growth in agriculture. And agriculture is already new normal. 4% growth in agriculture is now new normal. So you will just see that earlier we used to feel great even if growth rate was close to 3%. So new normal is 4%, and I feel we are already on it. You will see that kind of things happening, but we need to understand what is the vibrant sector, which is the sluggish sector, why it is a sluggish sector, what we need to know. But one point I want to share with you is the dichotomy in crop sector is not grain versus other crops. The dichotomy is between field crop versus horticulture. And in grain, maybe you are already including pulses, that there's a one segment, cereal, pulses, and oil seeds, plus cotton and sugarcane. I call them field crops, which occupy nearly 93% area. They are very important, but this is a sluggish sector. It is not that only grain is a sluggish sector. There are some serious issues with this sector. Like few days back, I gave interview in Business Economic Time that NITI Aayog member patted for GM technology. So I took a clear position that India cannot improve its self-sufficiency if it doesn't go for GM. So choice is very clear. Either you accept that we will keep importing 50%, 60%. But if you want to reduce today, the only choice is that we go for GM. So those kind of things, I think even in oil seed, we need breakthrough. Pulses, we need breakthrough. And grain also, we need breakthrough. Plus different kind of policy support and looking at their potential and dichotomy in terms of field crop versus horticulture, not grain versus other crop. Otherwise, I would still like to compliment you that everything that you said make great meaning, and that would also give a lot of research agenda to you. Both Dr. Kumar and our new DG, Dr. M L Jat, they have, I think, appropriately appreciated, and they have fully understood what NIAP is doing, and their advice should be treated as advice. Their advice should be treated as advice from the peers, and particularly Dr. Jat. He has, I think, given some thought about future of NCAP in all respect, the relationship between NCAP and NIAP and ICR, role of NIAP in the larger setup of ICR institutes, that if in agriculture there are 20 themes, do we have 20 scientists from here who take up that theme and involve all the state level institution in those kind of things? That idea is very good, Dr. Jat, but to be honest with you, to get acceptability as a national level theme leader, you need to have person with certain capabilities. Even during my time, when I tried to push it, there was resentment from some of the institutes, because some people feel that I know more than this NCAP scientist he has put as my leader. You see, people accept only that person as a leader who is more capable than you. If there is a person less capable than you put as your leader, yes, circumstances may compel you to accept him as a leader, but in heart you don't accept him as a leader. So then we need to see that how we address that kind of situation. But I feel in order to maximize the total output from social scientists in the system, that kind of thinking is needed. In fact, I want to make use of your presence and to say that one way to address criticism of ICR is that in ICR we do not have any HR policy. So you are two person who deal with HR, ASRB chair and DG. That I think we need to map, but the capacity, the strength of different institutes, what are the capacities, strength, and skills of each of the scientists, and where he or she should be posted. We gave example of that China did so much in biotechnology, how they did it. That they brought West 100 scientists of China working on biotechnology at one place. You work here. Gave material to rest of the people. So those kind of things require some organizational reshuffling, particularly HR policy. So I think if you can give some thought to it, and it is very challenging because in the last 100 years of ICR, we never pay attention to HR, but those were different times. Today's time are different. Today people talk in a different way, that if we can have a HR policy, that we allocate our person, science, who are our resources, from where we can get best out of it and do posting and all those things according to that. I think that can make the big difference. And it is there that social science can also play some role. So, friends, I should not stretch the time too much. In fact, I come here as if it is my own place, my own family, and I feel so happy to share my views with you. And I share my views with so much frankness, without fearing what you will think. It is as if you give some suggestion to your children without fearing that there will be any reprisal. So I just spoke like that. So I really feel happy that DGICR gave very assuring and supporting statement, and that augurs very well for future of NIAP. And we need to discuss things sometime again, that how we come to the expectation of new leadership, which he expressed today, or asking him, having some other kind of session between director and him, and then having a discussion here, how NIAP can play a larger role, which is very much needed. not only to address the conventional problem, even so many other kind of problem, climate change, sustainability, carbon credit. These days people talk about agriculture and health, so many kind of thing, and this center is capable of doing different things. So with these words, I congratulate everyone who is working in NCAP, because whatever output we are seeing, the credit may be more of scientists, but everybody contribute in his own way, right up to the messenger boy. So congratulations to you for your great achievement, and my best wishes for a very, very bright future. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and sharing your knowledge of wisdom. I would like to have now honoring of the guest by presenting shawls and mementos. So first of all, I would like to request Professor Ramesh Chand itself to honor the chief guest with by presenting shawl and memento. Shawl. दूसरा ये लेके जाओ. Sir, I also request you to honor Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Chairman ASRB, by presenting shawl and memento. Now I request Professor Bithal to present shawl and memento to Professor Ramesh Chand. We would like to honor our beloved DG also on this occasion. I request Professor Bithal. I would like to request Dr. Ajit Yadav to please come on the dais and request Professor Bithal to please honor our nodal officer at ICAR. I take this opportunity to invite Dr. P.K. Joshi also. Request to everybody to join the honor. So thank you very much. Now it is my pleasure and duty to propose formal vote of thanks on behalf of this NIAP family to the guests and the dignitaries on the dais. I express my sincere thanks and gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Bharat Ramaswami, for sharing his valuable thoughts on agricultural policy and providing us food for the thought. I am sure agriculture research will immensely be benefited from his lecture. Thank you very much, sir. I further like to thank Professor Ramesh Chand for his benign presence, guidance, and blessings on the occasion and gracing this celebration. Thank you very much, sir. I extend the gratitude to Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Chairman ASRB, to accept our request and be part of this 34th Annual Day lecture. Thank you very much, sir. Special thanks to our beloved DG, Dr. M L Jat for coming to this institute and addressing the NIAP staff. Thank you, sir. We look forward for future guidance and support also in our journey ahead. And my special thanks to our DDG RC Agrawal in absentia and our ADGs, Dr. Yadav, for being present there and addressing us. Thanks to all our former directors, Dr. P.K. Joshi, Dr. Mrityunjaya, and also Dr. Suresh Pal, who couldn't come because of the traffic in Delhi due to heavy rains. So thank you for being with us on this occasion with us. Lastly, but not least, because of time constraint, I would like to thank each one of you who is present here, online, offline, from your heart, be with us. So thank you very much, each one of you. My gratitude to all the committee members, IT staff, administration, research staff, like who were working behind and also in the front for making this event successfully. At the last, I would also like to thank our director, Dr. P.S. Birthal, for guiding us minute to minute for successful celebration of this event and conducting this event. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much. Now we will assemble for a group photograph outside the auditorium. Outside the building, basically. And then for invited for the high tea. हाँ ये पैक कराना इसको म्यूट करो